Okay, everyone, so let's get ready and we're going to review for the first time ever Illustrator and some of the tools that it has. And it's one of my favorite Adobe programs. What I like about it is it appears really simple at first, but then you can make these really intricate amazing illustrations from it. The people who use Illustrator well can just do amazing things. So what we're going to do is, if you look over to the left, you'll see it says Miss Brown's template. And then over to the right, it will say your name template. Okay, so we're going to recreate the things to the left over to the right. But let me give you a little tour of things first, okay? To the left, just like Photoshop, we have all our tools that we are going to cover. We're just going to cover the first few today. Then at the top, we have our menu items. If I'm ever talking about a panel you don't see, go to Window and you can pull up that panel that you can so that you're able to see it as well. And then over to your right, you will see all your panels. The ones that we're going to use today is we're going to look at Pathfinder. We're probably going to look at Align, and we're going to look at layers. Remember layers from Photoshop, and then we're also going to look at swatches and brushes as well. And we'll probably get into strokes a little bit as well. Then over to our left, you will see this is our fill color right here, and then you will see that this is our stroke color over here to the left as well. So let's get started. As you can see, the very first thing I have is a black rectangle. So I'm going to double click on this if it's some other color besides black, and I'm going to pull down into the very corner, and you can see 000 is black. You can also adjust these numbers if you want. So it's cyan, magenta, yellow, and black. Turn that to 100. And there we also can select black by coming over here and selecting this one right here. All right, then I'm going to go 4 down to the left, and I'm going to click and hold until I show the rectangle tool. If you look, I can also just hit the letter M, that's what that means, and that will pull that one up as well. And so let's draw our black rectangle. There we go. We're already drawing in Illustrator. Isn't that great? Okay, so then we're going to make like a square with rounded edges, and there's a couple different ways we're going to do it, but we're just going to use it right now with the rounded rectangle tool. Once again, I just click and hold, and then I'm going to click, and then to make it a square, I'm going to hold down the shift key, and I'm going to make it about a quarter the size of the other one, so I can line up 4 of them next to it. Okay, great. So now I'm going to copy that shape over. So I'm going to take my black arrow over here to the left, and I'm going to click and hold, and I'm going to hold down my shift key, and it keeps in alignment, but then I'm also going to hold down the option key. When I hold down the option key, you'll see that a second version appears. Now I need to let off my mouse first, and there it is. I have a copy. Now I want to do the same thing again. So I'm going to click and drag. I have both of them selected. I'm going to hold down the shift key to keep the alignment, and then I'm going to hold down the option key to copy it. Okay, so there we go. And now I have 4 of those lined up and ready for me to do different fills with, which I'm super excited. Okay, so what we're going to do is I'm going to move these down just a little bit, because you can see I have some writing, and we're going to include the writing as well. Okay, so we're going to write. So I went and got my text tool over here. I clicked once, and you can see it says Basic Fill. And right now I kind of have a fun, funky font. And so I'm going to make it so that it's just a little bit more readable. So I'm going to just do Myriad Pro. Oh, I forgot the S. Basic. Oh, Basic. There we go. And I'm going to do just like I did with my squares, where I'm going to click and hold the Option key and the Shift and the Option, and it will copy it over. And I'm going to do the same thing down here. Perfect. Okay. And then I'm going to click it with the text tool right here, and I'm going to put pattern fill, great. I'm going to put gradient, great. And I'm going to put your choice. You can put whatever you want in here. Excellent. So now I'm going to want to line these up so that they look nice. I'm going to select all 4 of them, and then up here you'll see I have these options. This is different alignment. So I'm going to say horizontal align center. Beautiful. And I'm going to do this one as well. And now they're all lined up and looking beautiful for me. So I'm going to go to the pattern fill. I'm going to click it, pull up your swatches, which is right here. It looks like this. And you'll see that you have different patterns down here, okay? There's one called foliage, pompadour, hexagon. So just pick one of these and you can see that there are a pattern will fill. If you don't like one of those patterns, you can go up here to the little hamburger and you can say open swatch library. And there are some crazy things that are in here. I don't know if it's the pattern one is in here. We'll have to add those. But this is just, these are just straight ones. So don't get your patterns out of here. Just pick one of these. Okay, so I'll just pick this foliage one. I'll show you where the pattern ones are later. Okay, the gradient fill, you'll notice that there are some gradients in here. There's a yellow and then there's like a blue to white. We can pull these up, I know for sure, over here. And we're going to say open swatch library and we're going to go to gradients. And then these give you like some different like pre-ones, but you can also create your ones. So I'm going to choose this one called Color Harmonies, and you see it brings me up a bunch of different options. So just pick one, okay? And then your choice, I want you just to really explore the different combinations that we have here and pick one. So you can choose one that's already existing. You can look at the hamburger bun and you can go, oh, there it is, patterns. I couldn't see it. Now I see it, okay? So you can go into these different ones. I'm going to look at, let's see. Ooh, let's look at the textures. What's in the textures? Oh, my. Okay. And you can pick one of those. So there you go. So we have all of those. All right, so we finished this part. So now we're going to look over here. We're going to make a yellow circle. So let's pick our color first. So I'm going to come over here and I'm just going to pick a yellow that already exists. And I'm going to go over to my shapes over here, click and hold, and there's the ellipse tool. I can also hit the L and it will pull it up. And I'm going to click and drag. If I just use my mouse, it is kind of a wonky shape, but if I hold shift, it holds it to be a perfect sphere, okay? If I hold down the space bar, it lets me drag it around. If I hold down the option key, it lets me drag it out from the center, okay? So I'm actually going to hold down the shift key and I'm going to hold down the space key and I'm going to move it where I want. So I'm using my shift key and my space key to kind of get it where I want. Great. And I'm going to move a little bit over to the right and I'm going to now draw an oblong one and I'm going to change it to a green color. Okay, perfect. Now I'm going to make a stop sign, an octagon that's over here. I'm going to click and drag and I'm going to go to the polygon tool. And you'll see right now it's a triangle and it's like, okay, well, how do I get it to an octagon, Miss Brown? Well, you can hit the up arrows, okay? So right now you can see it's a pentagon, 6. There we go. There's our octagon. I'm holding down the shift key to keep it in the correct position for me, and I'm going to make this one blue. Okay, and I'm just going to move it straight over here. All right, the next one I want to show you is the star tool, and it's just like the polygon where I can add points by hitting the up arrow or I can hit the down arrow as I want. Whatever number you want, I just want it to kind of look like a star. And then let's pick an orangey color and let's move it over to the right a little bit. And then you will see that all these shapes will have little circles on the inside. This is what happens when I mess with those, okay? It will change how these are functioning. Okay, so mess around with those different shapes and you can see how you can adjust. Isn't that a cute little flower? You could do, so get some kind of one that you want. Okay, great. And I'm going to select the white tool, and then I can, what's nice about this is you can then use your shift key and select one or two, whoops, if you want. And I can just adjust one or two if you want. You don't have to do all of them the same. All right, so we're going to line this up. We got a little star shape. Now I want to show you how we can do different strokes. So you can see there's just a plain line. So I'm going to click and drag over here for a line segment tool, okay? So I'm just going to click and drag, and if I click and drag, you will see it goes any angle. But guess what happens when I hold shift? You're right, it's a straight line. I want it to be black, so I'm going to make sure I have the stroke selected, and I'm going to select the black. Wonderful. And then I'm going to go to my line, and I'm going to make this a little bit thicker, or you can make it a little bit thinner, okay? I'm then going to grab my black arrow tool, and I'm going to click and drag, and I'm going to hold the shift and then the option key, okay, because I'm copying over, and you can see I can make a dashed line. You can also have a few different options here if you wish, of things that you can add as well. That arrowhead looks obnoxiously big, so we're going to do that. Okay, great, wonderful. And then I'm going to make another copy of one. I'm going to none and none. And then I want you to go to your brushes. So it just doesn't have to be straight, perfect lines. You can add a lot of different flavors. So I'm going to pick this light wash thick, okay? So you can add that in and you're going, what's going on? Well, remember I had the dash lined. So I can unclick that and it looks like that I took a wet brush and I painted something there. There's lots of different options for us to do here. But just for right now, let's just use this one so you know how it works. Okay. I'm going to move that one down. And I'm going to move this back up. And we're going to make it a dash line because we're making it look like it's over here. And we're going to look at our brushes, and this is the charcoal one. Okay, great. So now you can see it's looking like it's over there, or close enough. It's not perfect, but it's close enough. Okay, so now we're going to use the Pathfinder, and we're going to do this with circles. So what I'm going to do is click and drag the ellipse tool. I'm going to hold down my shift key, and I'm actually going to get rid of the stroke, and I'm going to make one of them red. Then I'm going to grab my tool, and I'm going to click, and I'm going to hit shift option, something like this, and I'm going to make a yellow one. Okay. Oh, look, did I do it the opposite? Yep, it's the opposite, so I'm going to switch it around. Yellow and red. Kind of looks like the MasterCard one. Okay. So I'm going to make this 4 more times for you to see. 1. So let me show you what I did again. You're going to like this trick. Okay, so I selected both of them by clicking and dragging, getting both of them selected. Click and drag, hold down the shift, hold down the option, great, and then I let up, and then I'm going to hit Command D for duplicate and Command D again. Great. So there it is, all 4. Command D is in dog, okay? So I can hit Command Z to back up. Again, I hit Shift Option, I move it over, let up with my mouse, Command D, Command D. Perfect. Okay, so we're going to do different ones. So you can also see that I put some type. So I'm going to move this up a little bit, and we're going to make sure that we get all that type put in there. So we have Unite, Divide, Crop, and Outline. So let's add this in. Unite. Okay. and I'm going to hit Option, put it in there. Okay, and then I hit Command D to duplicate and duplicate. There it is. Isn't that nice? And I'm going to put divide, and I'm going to hit crop, and I'm going to hit outline. Oop. If I can remember how to spell it. So let's try these different Pathfinder options. So I'm going to select both of them, and I'm going to go to the Pathfinder tool. Okay, so here it is. And the first thing we see is Unite. So we're going to do this, and it combines two shapes. So this would be like a great way to make like cartoon eyes. Great. So I'm going to select both of these again, and I'm going to hit the one that says Divide. It's the first one. And it may not look like it does anything right now, but if you check, if I look at my other shape, you will see that it's missing that center piece. So I can select that now with my white direct selection tool, and I can hit delete. And now you can grab these individual pieces. Okay, also a great way to draw a moon. Now I'm going to select all of these again, and I'm going to hit crop. Okay, and looky there, it gives you that middle shape. And then the last one we're going to do is called outline. So I'm going to select, whoops, I'm going to select both of these. And there it says outline, and I'm going to click, and bada bing, there's our outline. Okay, so now I am done recreating Miss Brown's template. I am going to, God forbid, hit save. And then you will see Miss Brown has created this little landscape right here with all the tools that we just used. Okay, so we're going to recreate this as well. So you're going to go past this little house, and you're going to go over here to the blank one, because we're going to make our own little landscape. Isn't that going to be fun? I'm going to back up just a little bit, and then I want you to look at your layers. Okay, you will see that I have two. One's called front ground or foreground, and one's called grass and sky. So let's start with the grass and sky first, and we're just going to do two rectangles. And I'm going to do a rectangle, and I'm going to click a green gradient. If you don't have a green gradient, I want you to go to Open Swatch Libraries, Gradients, and there's one called Foliage, which means like grass, trees, bushes. Click it, choose one of these. Okay, and then if you look at your swatches, it appears. So I'm just going to draw my grass. Bada bing, there it is. I'm going to do the same thing for the sky. I'm going to come here, Open Swatch Library, and I'm going to say Gradients, and look, there's one called Sky. Beautiful, thank you. You're going to choose one. Whoops, it turned my grass, so I'm going to make sure I'm not selected on it. I'm going to choose one, go to Swatches, there it is. I'm going to draw another rectangle. Boom. If you want to change the direction of this gradient, which you may, okay, you can grab the gradient tool and click and drag. So there it is. And I got something from going to like a blue to a white, or you could do opposite as well. Okay, the clouds, let's do that next. I'm going to grab my ellipse tool, and I'm going to grab a white, or you can grab like a gray if you want. And I'm just going to start dragging out, okay, some circles. I love it. And then I'm going to select them all by holding down my Shift key. And then I'm going to go to my Pathfinder. I'm going to close that one. And I'm going to go to Unite. And now this is one shape. I cannot go back to those individual shapes. It is a permanent solution, okay? So there's my clouds. Wonderful. So the next thing we're going to do is we're going to create the sun really quick. So I'm going to go to my star tool, and I'm going to click, and I'm going to make it about the size I want. And then you can see the first layer is yellow, so I'm going to pick a yellow. And then I'm going to grab one of these, and I'm going to just make it a little bit softer there for the edges. Whoops. I'm going to select this and I'm going to make it a little bit bigger. And then I'm going to teach you a trick here, okay? I'm going to hit Command C to copy, and then I'm going to hit Command F for front. It doesn't look like I did anything, okay? But hold on just a minute. Hit the white button, and now we're going to rotate it just a little bit. We actually did copy it. Ooh, okay, perfect. There we go. And now we're going to get our circle and we're going to create an orange center. So you can see that we are using shapes to build this scene. Okay, beautiful. Okay, so now we have the grass and the sky, and we're going to switch layers to the front ground. Okay, so let's build our house. We're going to go to the rectangle tool. You can make your house whatever color that you want to make it. Okay, there we go. Next, I'm going to choose the polygon tool, and I'm hitting the down arrow until my little rectangle comes up. I'm holding down the shift key so that it keeps everything level. I'm going to have a red roof. Great. And I'm going to hold down and I'm going to make some darker windows. Whoops, can't have that selected. Okay, I'm holding down the Command key to bring back the arrow if you wondered what I was doing. Okay, grab a darker color for the windows, and I'm going to make a window. And I'm going to make, actually I'm going to make one window. And then I'm going to hold down the shift option, and now these are the exact size and they are lined up. And I'm going to make a door. Beautiful. I can use my arrow keys, my left and right, to kind of get it where I want to. Okay, perfect. So if I wanted to line up this house perfectly, I could grab my house and my roof. I could use the align and I could get it lined up. I could also then add my door and hit the align, and it aligns it all up. You can't do it with the windows necessarily because it would line up these two rectangles. So let me show you. Right? So line those up. So it looks like a Cyclops house. Nope. But I'm going to show you a little trick. If I hold down my shift key and I have both of them selected at the same time, and then I hit Command G for group, Command G. Now when I do it, I thought I had locked that layer. Okay, so now when I do it, it will keep that in the correct place, and I know everything is lined up. Look how beautiful my house is. Now you'll notice I have a little bit of grass and I have a bug. So I'm going to show you where those are. So you're going to go to Window and you're going to want to go to Symbols down here. And you'll see you have some like pre-existing vector artwork. So we're going to go ahead and select those. So I'm going to get the little ladybug and I'm going to drag her here. Okay, and I can rotate her. And then if you don't see the ladybug, I want you to go to Open Symbol Library and you can look at nature. Okay, you can look through there. You can also look at flowers and you will see, you can add whatever you want to your landscape. Okay, so we have that. If you go to nature, that's where you see the different grass. You can see that I grabbed this. Okay, and I'm going to make it just a little bit bigger, and then I'm going to hold down my shift key and my option key, and then I'm going to hit my right key. Ooh, my windows are shaking behind me, and I'm going to go to transform, and I can say reflect 90 degrees, and there it is. It's the reflection of it. So there we have it. We have about like Miss Brown's project here. Wonderful. Okay, so we're now going to go File, Save As. And where it says Adobe Illustrator, I want you to say Adobe PDF. I'm going to have you put a space and then put your first and last name or just some form of your name. Hit save, say PDF, and you're now going to turn this into Schoology for me. Look at this. We're not even 5 minutes in and you guys are already making landscapes. It's just going to keep getting better and better. All right, have a good one.